Viewers, the big story that we have for you this afternoon is what's happening as far as India's defense sector is concerned. Decks have been cleared for Big Bang Rafale acquisition. The Defense Acquisition Council meeting has just got over, and we have an inside scoop from this particular meeting. We have learned from sources that Indian Air Force is all set to get more Rafales. In total, 114 more Rafale fighter jets is what Indian Air Force is likely to get in its arsenal. Let's go across to my colleague Srinjoy Chaudhary joining us live right now for more on this. Srinjoy, good afternoon. This is a big news for Indian Air Force. What have your sources told you?
Yes. There are three things, Hina, that must be remembered. One, of course, as you rightly said, the 114 have been cleared. But beyond that, there are three things. First, 90 of them will be made in India. Hina?
Right.
And not only that, 90 of the 114 will be made in India, first of all. Secondly, all the Rafales will have at least 50% indigenous content. That is to keep in mind the fact that Atmanirbharata is as important as it is. Thirdly, India will have the authority to have weapons that are made in India on the Rafales. That is a very important thing, because all these weapons that are made in India, like the Astra and all that, and the BrahMos, importantly, can be fitted onto the Rafale. Now, once India has that, it will be a great advantage. So really three things. One, the 114. Secondly, 90 of them will be made in India. Thirdly, the fact that they will have 50% indigenous content. And fourthly, Indian weapons like the BrahMos can be fitted onto the Rafale. There are two other important aspects of today's DAC meeting, Hina. First of all, the fact that after all of these problems with the Americans, the acquisition of 6 P-8I maritime reconnaissance planes for the Navy has been cleared. That's very important. The Navy has been looking for it for a while, and these problems with Donald Trump, etc., was delaying this.
Right.
And the other important thing is that if you get 114 Rafales, you need armaments for it. Immediately, India will be able to buy Scalp air-to-air missiles from the French to be fitted onto the Rafale when they come. So all three developments, very important and a big step for the defense sector.
Well, absolutely. Srinjoy, I'm just interrupting you there. Request you to please stay on with us. I have a few more questions as well for you. But before that, let me also go across to my colleague Mayank, who is joining us on the broadcast as well. Mayank, good afternoon. You know, it's a big step as far as, getting more ammunition for Indian Air Force is concerned, and also how this is going to take India's focus on self-reliance or Atmanirbharta forward. Can you tell us a little bit more about what really happened in this meeting? What kind of a timeline are we really looking at, within which Indian Air Force could get 114 more Rafales?
See, the most important part is actually every element of equipment or system which has been approved will have a grounding in India in one form or the other. So you can say that MSMEs within India will be involved in their production, in production of some subsystems or some kind of equipment also. And there is a clause of offset also in that regard. So offset has to that whatever portion will be decided, let's say 30% if it has been decided, that offset portion will have to be brought to India and has to be invested within India. So if you see that, that will be a kind of a preparation or the grounding wherein the important technologies, subsystems will be produced within India. And more than that, involvement of your own industry, the people within India will be involved into that. That will help you in further development in future. So it is going to be important in so many ways. Another sensitive aspect is actually the dwindling combat squadrons which were there and which people have been reporting that it is 29 squadrons. So if you see, Indian Air Force counts 18 aircrafts as one squadron. So having said that, 114 is going to be almost 7 squadrons plus 6 this thing. Right. Now if you match it with that 29 plus, and as you asked, the timeline. The timeline has to be, let's say, if the contract, because it has to be further, the contract has to be further sent to the CCS, which is Cabinet Committee on Security. Right. That has to approve it. And once it is approved, then the cost negotiation
committee... We understand it's going to be a slightly lengthy process before the production actually begins. And then the acquisition, of course, is going to happen. Stay on with us, Mayank. Srinjoy continues to be with us as well. We're also joined on the broadcast by retired Major General A.K. Sivaj. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for speaking with us here on Times Now. What we have learned is that the decks have been cleared for Big Bang Rafale acquisition. Soon, Indian Air Force is going to be getting 114 more Rafales. Out of these 114, 90 are going to be made in India. Your first reaction?
This is a very good news. In fact, as far as the fighter aircraft are concerned, as very clearly said that we need almost 42.5 squadron in case there is a requirement to fight on two fronts. And we only are left with 29, especially after MiG-29 and now Jagur will be also getting decommissioned. So we needed a multi-combat aircraft, and since we already have got 2 squadron of Rafale, there can't be a better aircraft than Rafale. As on today, it's a 4.5 generation. It performed extremely well during Operation Sindoor. Now we are trying to get about 114 aircraft, which is about 6 to 7 squadron which is required. And out of that, you will find it that 18 of them possibly will come in a fly-in condition, and rest of them will be manufactured in India itself. Maybe in parts, or maybe that the spare parts will be put here, and the component of made in India will be from 30 to 60%. It's extremely good news. And there will be also, to some extent, transfer of technology. Right. And the main point is that we wanted to put our own missile in Rafale, which we have got it earlier, but the source code was not given by France. I suppose this time they are going to get that thing done, in which we can also put a missile like BrahMos and all, which is very, very effective. Right. We have put it on Sukhoi 31 MKI. So what I'm saying is this is a game changer, force multiplier, and you will find it that the majority of these aircraft manufactured in India, and the parts are almost 60% but indigenous. I suppose it's a good. Remember, AMCA, Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, which is a generation aircraft which we have to manufacture within our country, will take 8 to 10 years. You were telling how much time it will take. To me, it looks like that 114 aircraft possibly will be inducted in Indian Air Force in another 5 to 6 years.
5 to 6 years is the time that you're looking at, but clearly, as you've called it, a game changer. It's clearly India's one of the largest ever defense procurements once it happens, and it's going to hugely bolster our IAF's combat capabilities. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you speaking with us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. Thank you, Srinjoy and Mayank, for your inputs as well.